Surge in Russian drone strikes test Ukrainian defenses and devastate families. Maria Troyanivska had come home early the night a Russian drone hit her bedroom. It flew in through the window, right into her room, her mother Victoria tells the BBC. After the explosion, she and her husband Volodymyr ran from the next room to find their daughter's room on fire. We tried to put it out, but everything was burning so strongly, she says through tears. It was impossible to breathe. We had to leave. The Russian Shahed drone killed the 14-year-old in her bed, in her suburban apartment in Kyiv, last month. She died immediately, and then burned, her mother said. We had to bury her in a closed coffin. She had no chance of surviving. Russia is massively increasing drone strikes on Ukraine. More than 2,000 were launched in October, according to Ukraine's general staff, a record number in this war. The same report says Russia fired 1,410 drones in September, and 818 in August, compared with around 1,100 for the entire 3-month period before that. It's part of a wider resurgence for Russian forces. The invaders are advancing all along the front lines. North Korean troops have joined the war on Moscow's side. And with the election of Donald Trump for a second term as U.S. president, Ukraine's depleted and war-weary forces are facing uncertain support from their biggest military donor. The majority of the Russian drones raining down on Ukraine are Iranian-designed Shaheds, propeller-driven, with a distinctive wing shape and a deadly warhead packed into the nose cone. Russia has also started to launch fake drones, without any explosives, to confuse Ukraine's air defense units and force them to waste ammunition. Compared to missiles, they are much cheaper to build, easier to fire, and designed to sap morale. Every night, Ukrainians go to sleep to notifications pinging on their phones, as inbound drones crisscross the country, setting sirens blaring. And every morning, they wake to news of yet another strike. Just since the start of November, drones have hit Kyiv, Kharkiv, Odessa, Mykolaiv and Zaporizhia. On Sunday, Russia launched 145 drones at Ukraine, according to President Volodymyr Zelensky, a record number for a single day since the start of the full-scale invasion. Kyiv said that day it had managed to shoot down 62 drones, and that a further 67 were lost, meaning they were either downed by electronic warfare or disappeared from radar screens. Ukrainian air defenses are struggling to cope with the surging numbers. So far we have been intercepting them. I hope we will keep intercepting them, SGT Mikhailo Shamanov, a spokesperson for Kyiv City Military Administration, told the BBC. While he says Russia tries to hit military installations, the general aim is terrorizing civilians. They know the Russians will continue to ramp up these attacks. He said it's why his government is constantly asking for more air defense from Western allies. It's also why Ukraine is nervously waiting to see how U.S. President-elect Trump will approach the war when he re-enters office. Even if air defense works well, drone or missile debris falls on the city. It causes fires, damage and unfortunately sometimes victims, he explained. Every night it's a lottery where it hits, where it's shot down, where it falls and what happens. Vitaly and his men have no fixed post. Their weaponry for shooting down the Shaheds is carried on the back of a flatbed truck, allowing them to maneuver quickly. We try to monitor, move, outpace the drone, destroy it, he said. It's clear the job is taking its toll. Half a year ago, it was 50 drones a month. Now the number has risen to 100 drones every night, he said. Their days are getting longer too. When the Russians used mainly missiles to bomb Ukraine, the unit commander said, the air alerts would last about 6 hours. Now, it's around 12 or 13 hours, he said. Vitaly is confident in front of his men, declaring that they can handle all that the Russians can fire at them if they get weapons from Western allies. Our guys could even deal with 250 drones in a night, he said. But air defense can only do so much. Ukrainians will continue to suffer until Russia stops its invasion and its air assaults on cities. Victoria says their lives are now divided into before and after their daughter's death. They are staying with a friend after the destruction of their flat. She said they sleep